Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. All I ask, mouse pointer for luck, 3 circles and I'm out, is damage. Dude, 5 damage is where we finished our last run. PYOG, 2KCB, great speed, great HP, great tiers. Good luck is even in the positives for us here. Now, let's not get cocky, because I think I have a history of losing some runs I shouldn't lose, particularly runs that start strong, get a little cocky early, leads to some problems. Really, by the way, all of our support here is via one item, Magic Mush. Metronome is what it is. Probably, you know, I mean, actually, we may have started with 2.5 damage, but Magic Mush, doubling our damage, brought us out of that miasma, plus gave us an extra fire rate increase. So we were one non-Magic Mush away from this being probably a pretty below average start. We would have had 1 less HP as well. So let's just count our lucky stars. Thank our lucky stars? Count our blessings, yeah. Again, in English, you do different things with different things. You don't count a lucky star, you idiot. You thank it. You don't thank a blessing, you count it. Does he write his own lyrics? Well, sort of, I think him. That means I forgot better stuff than you ever thought of. Dang, is he really that caught up? I ask if we talking about classics, is my name get brought up? He might say does, but in my head I'm like, it's is. What? Did we just get chaos? From Metro... What? So I know Metronome, it gives you an item, not of your choice, just an item in general. I mean, obviously not of your choice. This game doesn't have the infrastructure to handle those kind of requests, but it could be a passive. So we got Cat of Nine Tails, I thought. But then, because we dropped Metronome, maybe we lost it immediately. But Chaos is an interesting choice because it has like a lasting... that's very good. Because it has a lasting impact, right? So I'm confused. I think we may want to get rid of Butter. I don't want to talk about the fact that we don't have any bombs, despite there being about 1,000 different rooms here on which bombs would be useful. There's like 3 tinted rocks, a couple of situations where we could blow up 2 pots and get a red chest. Like, you know, let's just focus on the positive. Speaking of which, I've decided I do not care about shooting the rest of the poop because the first ones were very rude to us. Give me a better spacebar item, please. Metronome is fine. Sort of. That's good. 1 guppy item. We're going to complete that at some point, dude. If I get a rate of fire or a damage increase, I will be over the moon. Just something for the run to rededicate itself and prove that we're in a better spot. Dim bulb. Let me think about this. What happens if we... so literally I was like, dim bulb, drop it, pick it back up. Miss New Booty. Drop it off and give it back to me. We're going to roll dim bulb, but I thought maybe it would work if we had no spacebar item, but we can't get to no spacebar item now unless we pick up something like Pandora's box. Okay. Extremely important. Now, the game's done us a great service. The ball is in our court. Face off in the defensive zone. Pop fly. What we gotta do is not... okay. Not take damage on the boss or en route to the boss. Certainly on the boss would be worse, but en route to the boss would also be very bad. I don't really want to use Metronome. We do get a nice stats upgrade when we use it, so there's a temptation. Spirit Heart. Let's go. Okay, it's only 1, but that's enough to justify using Metronome. Huge stats upgrade that time because we got an all stats up with the item as well. Just get a good deal with the devil and roll with it. You may disagree, but like I think we put in the time and the effort. That's 9 volts. That's a little bit of an unfortunate one, I guess, but we put in the time and the effort necessary to justify having a run that's a little bit easier. Now, I like a hard run because it keeps you sharp, and I do believe that there's something to be said about that. you're sharp, if you're kept sharp, you know, you're in a good spot. Means if anything... What the... I almost said the F word in the YouTube video. That would have been a little bit of an accident, but... so we got, by using the metronome, we got Forget Me Now, which is super actually great, except for a couple of things. One being, I didn't even go to the item room on the last floor because I was going to go to it after the... after we had fought the boss. The other one is, we didn't get anything out of the deal with the devil, which we probably wanted anything out of that deal with the devil. We probably would have taken whatever we could have gotten. Now, Guillotine, you know, it's a fine pickup that's not without a certain amount of problems, but it is what it is. I'm going to continue to use Metronome, because I think that the risk is outweighed by the reward. The reward is constant, the risk is variable. And again, truth be told, the Metronome was actually... Forget Me Now was not necessarily bad. It is going to give us more items. It's just kind of threw a monkey wrench into our deal with the devil plans. But maybe we'll get a deal with the devil here. And then it'll all be forgiven. The combination right now is actually pretty good. Oh, I love it. The danger, of course, is that we're going to pick up an item that's going to negatively affect us for a room. I don't know what, I don't know what happens if we get 9 lives, for example, but what happens if we get 9 lives, and we're 1 Guppy item away from becoming Guppy? Do we get the transformation permanently, the way we would in a D4 situation? Do we get the transformation for a room, or do we just get the item for a room but not get the transformation? I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question. Okay, we got to deal with the angel, so all is forgiven, but it is very strange. We'll be leaving this floor. I got a holy water and was unable to blow up the angel statue, but yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a weird one, without a doubt, but Metronome's doing some cool stuff. This is what I needed, you know? The run has Zane, but it also, it has power. Like, I mean, look at our stats. Our stats without a dim bulb even being active are ridiculous. And then most of the time, Metronome is going to give us an item that is either good or useless. And that's fine. Once every 2 rooms, useless item with an all stats increase, temporarily. Totally fine by me. Tough Love is not useful immediately, but maybe in time. Some of the time it's going to give us some weirdness. And again, that's okay too. I got to pay closer attention to see what the item actually is when we get it. Blank rune. That was Dagaz, I think. Gotta peep this. Okay. Spirit Heart. Life goes on. It is a run where, you know, it's a little, I mean, you know, it's on the zany side. Hard to talk about other anecdotes, but I relish these zany opportunities. You know, opportunities for us to get a little bit more of a... Like, here's the thing. Isaac is like... I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this without stepping on any toes. Because for a long time, I'm very wary of the fact that there was, like... wasn't like a targeted conspiracy theory or something, but for a long time, people were like, NL doesn't even like Isaac. He just plays it because it gets views. And there's an element of course I play it because it's popular to watch as well. At least to some extent. But also, like, I just have the kind of brain where routine is like the most attractive thing on the planet to me. You know, like, for me to be like, okay, I can start every day by doing 2 Isaac episodes, like a daily crossword puzzle of a game that I like, and I can talk about anything, is very, very appealing to me. So I don't want to suggest that it's not that I am not enjoying Isaac. The thing is, most Isaac runs at this point in our lives, okay, so we don't get the Abaddon transformation when we pick up Abaddon, so we probably wouldn't get it for Guppy either. Most Isaac runs are known quantities. You're like, okay, it's a glass cannon run, it's a train wreck run, it's one of those myriad runs that sits in the middle, it's a Guppy run, it's an angel run, you know? You kind of know how to approach these, and then getting something like this instead where it's an item we haven't really used that much, and it has unreliable interactions, and then we've got a trinket that works with it as well. It reminds you of, like, you know, what you liked about Isaac in the first place. You know, it's freshening up the relationship a little bit. Which is not a condemnation of the state of the relationship that I have with Isaac now. Merely, it's a renaissance of what I liked about it in the first place. It's a responsible part of keeping things going long term with a game that you enjoy. This is not a metaphor. I'm speaking specifically about Isaac. If you give me a bad trip pill one more time, I'm going to go into your source code and misspell a word. Cause you a lot of problems. That's not an idle threat. I don't make threats idly. Like a clicker game. Hey, okay. We got a speed upgrade. Raw stats, still awesome. Dim bulb or no dim bulb. Please, deal. No deal, but pentagram. Okay, you know, the games keep it... It's a negotiation. I respect that we're getting damage upgrades. I would have killed for him last time. I'm not trying to dredge up the past, but we do have more damage on the Flooded Caves 2 than we had on the last 2 runs. Combined at the end of them. Well, no. That's not true. Because we did get Polyphemus to round out the last run, but it happened like maybe 12 rooms before the end. So like we have more damage now than we had on the last 2 runs combined when they were at the cathedral. So we'll see how that changes things as we move on here. But for now, like this run's being very merciful. But it's not giving me exactly what I asked for. I think that's what you want. You know, you want a little bit of a tug of war going on with Isaac. Ooh, infestation too. Hopefully the spiders don't disappear when we leave the room. Please stop making me leave that area. But I wouldn't mind some more Kaiser Permanente upgrades. I don't want to act like it's complicated, because we're probably going to win either way. It's a little bit of a false dichotomy to be like, oh, what a tough decision. But, we don't need any of that yet. It's not a tough decision, but it is a decision. You know what else is a decision? What bank out there has the funniest name? Because Kaiser Permanente is not a bank, it's an insurance company, but let's be honest. In my brain, they're the same. They're all cops. So I'm going to say Wells Fargo is another one that has, it's got a very funny name. I get that it's named after what I assume are 2 people who founded it, or perhaps Bill Wells founded it in Fargo, North Dakota. I don't know. But Wells Fargo is a funny name for a bank. In Canada, the banks largely... Well, you know what? We have a funny bank in Vancouver. It's called Van City. Their advertisements are, in my opinion, extremely patronizing. They interview real people and go like, what's it like to live in Vancouver? And the real people go like, it's expensive. And then the ad ends and it's like, Van City, we're here for you. And you're like, oh, are you giving out like 0 interest loans? And they're like, nah, we pretty much have the same interest rate as every other bank on the planet. Okay, fair enough. I get it, it's a business. But every other bank is like the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, the Toronto Dominion Bank, the Bank of Nova Scotia, which is now Scotiabank, the Bank of Montreal, which is now BMO. I guess that's kind of a funny name. I can't think of it. I mean, there's got to be funnier bank names. Can't really make fun of any American bank names except for Wells Fargo off the top of my head. Like, the only other one I could think of is Bank of America. It's like the actual most sanely... Yes. Yes. The most sanely named bank I could ever imagine. We have Holy Mantle. I don't... This one is my fault, but our damage and DPS are much, much worse. But we are 1 item away from Guppy with a 100% chance of a deal with the devil. And, I mean, well, there's nothing to say. I was going to say our damage is not that bad, but it really is, considering we're on the depths, too. But a Holy Mantle makes up for it. Like a single... Here, a secret room. A single orbital is going to go a long way here. Secret room first. Secret room first. Amazing. Try it. Please. We've been waiting so long. Okay. Okay. Whoa, you're a rascal. Wait a minute. Why did we get an all stats upgrade there? And it's stuck around. Okay, I'm really trying to figure out why. Like, top of my head is like Libra, Dark Prince's crown. There's got to be a more sensible explanation. Bloody Lust? Bloody Lust, Libra? I'm gonna put the theory to the test. Hit me again. Hit me again. Okay. Not Bloody Lust, Libra. D12. Rerolls rocks. I reroll rocks, 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 rocks. Again, I might be overthinking it, but I have no idea what did cause that all stats increase. I reroll. Yeah, that's I Want to Rock. You know, by who's I Want to Rock by? Twisted Sister, probably. I don't like Twisted Sister. I don't mean to besmirch the good name of Dee Snider. I just think that their most famous song is very annoying. Like, when they sing, "We're not gonna take it," you know, I get that. You know, it sounds like it's an act of defiance. But in my head, I always hear it as like, "We're not gonna take it." You know, it's like, I said I wanted my burger with no tomatoes, and you gave me tomatoes on the side. We're not gonna take it. Oh, you're lucky. Anymore. It's not their fault. As always, everything in these videos is my own fault. If you could frig off for a second, that'd be swell. It'd be swell if you would just mind your own business. You're gonna give me a little gish, but you're gonna give me a deal with the devil. Please, Lord. I'm taking them both. Death's Touch, Beauty, the Nail. You know what? I'll roll the Nail long term. Give me my Spirit Hearts. You know what it was? Dim Bulb gave us the all stats increase. Didn't go to the shop. I'm willing to gamble. It was actually, I was very, very much overthinking it. Should have looked at our trinket. Instead, I was, what if we have an all stats upgrade combined with something that gives us a benefit to one stat when we get hit? Little bit of a stretch, but it wasn't necessarily that it was wrong, it's just that it wasn't right in that situation. I'll take Bob's Brain. That was like 20 keys, but we did get a ton of money out of it. So I think the way that I see this run right now is that it's exploitable, you know? In a good way, for us at least. Not in a bad way for the run, it's like a collaborative experience here, but we are going to take it. No, we're gonna try to get to boss rush, deliberately take damage, and teleport out. It's not as easy as you'd think, because we actually charge our fire rate super quickly, but it depends if the item is worth giving up half a Spirit Heart or a full Spirit Heart for, but we'll see. Plus, we gotta make it. We have to make it. It's just one of those songs, I don't want to, again, because I think it has a, I don't want to say a good reputation, but I think there's people who really like that song. But it's one of those songs that if I never heard it again, it would provide me with zero, like, regret on my deathbed. And I hate to say it, there are other sacred cows that are in that camp, okay? If I never heard Bohemian Rhapsody again, I would live an equally fulfilling life. It would not affect it even 1/1000th of 1%. It's not that I think the song is terrible. It's that I've heard it so much that I can play it in my head, and it's essentially a high-fidelity recreation of the real thing. You know, I can turn it on in the old brain stereo. Well, we don't need to deliberately teleport if we can just... or use Cursed Eye to teleport if we can just do it like this. Ugh. I think we gotta try these, see if we can get some stats or something, like... The run is still good. I would love... we can improve the, you know, a little deal with the devil chance slightly more, but... maybe we'll beat the odds here and get lucky. Everything... whenever you look at the stats of a run, where you have Holy Mantle, you have to filter that through the knowledge that you also have Holy Mantle. So you need a lot less Herden power and a lot less DPS to get the minimum viable product for a successful run. You guys are gonna lose your mind. There was a Malwarebytes and Creative Cloud notification, and it did not require us... oops. It did not require us to actually go beep boop, beep beep beep. Yes. No. No. Yes. No. Okay. Mom's wig is not incredible, but is acceptable. We have not been to our item room yet. Okay, 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 okay. It's another Slowbie, but, I mean, we did that to ourselves. What can I really say? I did the full run reroll, and I will do the full run reroll forever. As long as I live. I'm looking at my OBS, and it's like, whenever I talk like this, it's like, careful, you're getting really loud. Whenever I talk at my normal pace, it's like, dude, cool it. It puts up a big red light that's like, you're talking too loud. Maybe I gotta adjust my microphone down a little bit and the game sound down, but then raise the overall volume. I don't know. Anyway, I listen to them. They sound fine to me, but I have bad ears. I have Canadian ears. It's tough. 99 bombs is amazing, but at the risk of being greedy, can we do better? This might spin us. We're one away from spun then. I'm still... you might think that I feel like I've made a mistake in that situation. You would be incorrect. I feel like this is the right stuff for us in our present worldview. Alright, take me out of this place. Where they really wanna go when we walk in the sun. But then... it's almost like us. We're born to run. Doesn't have to be a good impression. As long as it makes you say, was that Bruce Springsteen? That's all I'd ask, honestly. You know, other people, they do an impression. You go, that's a really good Robert De Niro. For me, you go, was that Christopher Walken? You bet it was. Just, what if that was just the last thing I said and then I just sort of drifted away? You ever watch like a stand-up comedian special that ended on a terrible joke like that? It's really weird. You know, especially if it was otherwise good for like the whole thing, and then they... like, so the number one thing that stand-up comedians do to end their sets is like they'll tell a joke at minute 15, and the joke kills, and then to end the set, they go, and that's why you don't, and then they repeat the punchline from the joke they killed earlier. It's called a callback. We in the academic comedy industry are big proponents of it. But when the first joke doesn't hit and they do a callback, or the callback is so incredibly forced, and they're like, so my son spilled his macaroni on the ground, and that's why you buy a Swiffer. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been wonderful. I'll see you next time. And they play like, don't believe the hype. You're like, that just... as a weak finish. You need a better closer than that. It's fine. I mean, you know, I don't have special on... excuse me? I don't have a special on Netflix, so I'm not going to tell you how to, like, live your life or anything, but I'm just saying, like... and it's not as easy as just being like, write a better joke. I'm just saying, like, you know... kind of puts a damper on the whole thing when you finish it off on a joke that's not that strong. It's like if you watched, I know, you're like, kind of like what you're doing right now. It's like if you watched a concert, or listen to a, I don't know, go to a concert, and you, let's say it's a concert for, like, the Baha Men. You know, the singers of Who Let the Dogs Out, some classic rock. And, you know, they finish the whole concert, but their second to last song, Who Let the Dogs Out, and then their final song is something you never heard of in your life. And then they're like, we're the Baha Men. Stay fresh. I don't know what their send-off is. You know, you'd be like, really? You're not going to play Who Let the Dogs Out as an opener and a closer? It seems kind of like one time I saw Modest Mouse in my small hometown. Mixture of college kids who are largely, like, aware of Modest Mouse in their back catalog, and then people who were like, nobody comes to this small town, and I've heard that song float on the radio. So they were playing a ton of back catalog stuff, which was really cool. But then the audience just grew increasingly incensed as time went on. They were like, you know, when are they going to play Float On? It's got to be next. And then they finished the set, and then people were like, encore, encore. And then they came out and they played 3 songs, and none of them were Float On. And then they left, and people were like, encore? Like, can you do that? Can you just finish a concert without playing the song that you're most known for? And the answer to that question is absolutely, and that's what they did. And it kind of owned, except, honestly, the venue was horrible. And I feel like I almost got heat stroke. But that's neither here nor there, I suppose. Hey, a speed upgrade. Dude, I think we take this as well. I think we just turn ourselves into like a killer machine. Ooh, it's nice, you know? This may be the last Isaac episode I record today. And, sorry, just, you know, you gotta play around with it a little bit. I don't think anybody fell for my prank, but simultaneously, it was a fun one. Dude, yes? So to have a run like this that's very, a little bit on the easier side feels nice. Because, dude, the middle ones were driving me crazy. My routine is very simple. You know, I wake up, usually, first thing I do is, well, I drink some coffee and then aggravate my friends in their own streams that are on different time zones, so they wake up a little earlier. And drink some coffee, and then I start playing Isaac. I play Isaac until one of 2 things happens. So Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday, it's till the NLSS happens, and I do the NLSS. If it's none of those days, I record Isaac typically until the Slay the Spire daily rolls over. That's a good marker for me to be like, okay, we can play something else now. That's enough Isaac. Then after the Slay the Spire daily, I record as many other videos as I can get away with. Until, like, it gets to be 8:30 or 9 p.m. You know, we wake up a little late. It's not like I'm working 9 to 9 most of the time, but I'm like, can I get away with another one? Like, we have to do grocery shopping. Can I get away with another? You know what? Absolutely. I'll do another reroll here. Interesting. No longer Holy Mantle. Right. Slow your roll on that. We do have Maw of the Void. Oh, we have Soy Milk. Our damage stat is 1.54 with a 1 rate of fire. That's right. Oh, and we have Guppy. This strikes me as being extremely good. We are the real Lord of the Flies right now. Just call me William Golding. Hello, William? No, I didn't mean like for real, you weirdo. He's the author of Lord of the Flies. I'm sure most of you were aware of the reference. But anyway, yeah, this run, it's a win now. It just demonstrates how strong Guppy is. They're like, can we divide your damage by 9? Give you a disproportionately lackluster Tears upgrade? But we'll give you Guppy. I'm like, oh, dude, sign me up. Do it twice. See if I care. No Hush, because I'm not insane. Scissors. Are scissors the household appliance that sounds the most like a Pokemon? I'll give you a few suggestions, okay? Scissors! Cleaver! Toaster oven. That one was mostly just for humor's sake. Grill. I don't know. Maybe there's some better ones. I'll accept anything as an appliance, by the way. If you're like, well, technically, tongs aren't spatula isn't an appliance. That's fine. I'll allow it. If you find it in the kitchen, I'll allow it, okay? I think spatula's a good one. Mesh sieve. I guess really, if you say anything in the voice of a Pokemon merely repeating its own name, it kind of sounds like a Pokemon, right? Garbage can. That's not fair because there already is a garbage Pokemon, but it's Pikachu. Oh, did he just... Did the Lord of the Gamers just insult Pikachu? This guy's gone off the rails. It's time for a change.org petition. We might as well take it. We get benefit out of... oh, and the Bob transformation. Weird. We get a benefit out of holding it because we get the stats upgrade once every 3 rooms anyway, just from using it. Actually, the rate of fire... the damage increase from it is really high. All things considered. You know, it gives us a 33% more damage. Which means a lot when you're shooting once every microsecond. Okay. We're losing HP. We have the wafer, though. Most important thing is just, make sure, you know, on occasion at least, you're using Maw of the Void. Extra Demon Hearts could be worth quite a lot. By the way, very rare to get a run with 2 rerolls. It's like, you know, we've basically witnessed a shooting star. I've never seen a shooting star in my life. To the actual point that it makes me a little bit upset, but the only reason it makes me upset is because shooting stars are so prevalent in movies and, you know, fairy tales and etc., that I feel like to have not seen a shooting star is like an incredible stroke of bad luck, when that's probably not true. What percentage of people out there have seen a shooting star? Actually, you know what? Maybe I'm accidentally lying to you. Because I have watched a meteor shower before. And isn't a shooting star just a streaking meteor? I've never been looking up at the night sky and seen a single streaking star. Let me put it that way. It was weird, because as a kid, I was, like, super into outer space. Like, I had all these books on, well, on outer space. And, I would read them all the time. And I was like, I want to be involved with NASA one day. And then, like, Independence Day came out, and I was like, I'm scared of aliens. In my defense, I was, like, 7, okay? So, you know, whenever, like, and we lived in, like, in a very, very rural area, so there was no light pollution whatsoever. So whenever there was, like, an astronomical event, you know, like a meteor shower, or, like, you're able to see Halley's Comet or something like that, we would always get out on our deck and be like, there it is. You can see it real well. But I was like, I don't want to be out on this deck in the pitch black looking at outer space because I feel like something's looking back at us. I don't know if anybody else had that. I was never afraid of monsters as a child. But for about, I don't know, probably like 4 years, from like 8 to 12, I was extremely afraid of aliens. Like, if you had asked me, like, what are the odds that in my lifetime malevolent aliens... What do you do again? You do something with familiars. All of our familiars have homing tears, I think. What are the odds that, like, malevolent aliens are going to come down and invade the Earth? And I'd be like, oh, dude, 100%. Absolutely. There's nothing we can do about it. Think of all the movies, you know? Independence Day, Mars Attacks, even, like, Lost in Space to some extent, you know? You know what's weird, but what cured me of... It wasn't a phobia. It was just, like, a low-level anxiety that I lived with. Much like, you know, just practice for adult life. What cured me is I went to a... Loath to say it, because it opens me up to all sorts of hilarious ribbing. But I went to a bowling tournament across the province when I was, like, 12. And I stayed at my aunt's house. And my aunt was like, let's watch Aliens, It Bangs. And I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of afraid of aliens. And she was like, even better. And then I watched Aliens, and you know what? She was right. That movie banged. It's one of my favorite movies to the present day. It's a high-octane thrill ride, equal parts horror and action, extremely well done by James Cameron and the rest of the Aliens team. It cured me of my fear, because I was like, oh, we're going to get, if we get invaded by aliens, we're going to get eviscerated, but simultaneously, like, it's going to own. Gonna get my face eaten like Paul Reiser. Plus, like, the thing in the Aliens movies is that the real alien is human beings. Because, like, the aliens, well, at least, that's not true in the new ones. In the new ones, the real alien is an android. But anyway, the real monster, I should say. But in the older alien movies, it's human beings that are the problem. You know, the aliens are just out there minding their own business on LV-488 or whatever. And then it's the humans that find them and are like, whoa, these things are dangerous. And then there's always one who's like, let's bring it back to Weyland-Yutani. We can weaponize it, you know? Were it not for the fact that that the human beings were trying to weaponize them, the aliens would be dangerous, but also confined to whatever planet they started on. You know, it's not like a xenomorph is going to get on the freaking Osiris or whatever the heck the ship is called and then pilot it back to space itself. That's a modern Ridley Scott invention. And then Ridley Scott was like, actually, the aliens are the real aliens. And we're like, Ridley, do you know why the movie is... why it works? Brightly lit set pieces? No, Ridley. It's not why the movie works. Is it seeing the creature in abundance? No, it's quite... I feel like you're just expressing the exact opposite opinion just to prove a point. Almost as if you're some kind of man made out of straw. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It's a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.